everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells apolytic. The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be. Anything beats a zero.
All right. Happy Saturday, everyone. You are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are live streaming. I see Facebook and I see YouTube. Okay, so we are live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So come on in and be a part of the conversation by dropping a comment. Also, we ask if you can share the live. That would really help as well, sharing the live. And then also giving thumbs up. So anywhere that you see there's a thumbs up button, you can go ahead and hit thumbs up, and then we'll be good with that. Okay. So again, thank you all so much for joining us here today. We have some great topics lined up for you. First things up, what is GLP-1 and how does it work? And also effects of women's health and reproductive system. Also, effects on men, obesity, and long findings. Okay, so Dr. Zarif, if you can go ahead and join me here on stage and we can get started. Welcome, hello, good morning, and all the things to you.
Grand Rising, good morning, and everyone, welcome today. Thank you very much, Carolyn. We're talking about the GLP-1 because it's so popular now. And just like everything else, over time, we've learned that until it is used long enough in order to find out the after effects, we're still like in this cloud of not knowing what we're doing. But again, we have to we got to take some chances, right? So there's a lot of times we have to take those chances so that we'll have a good understanding of what you can do, the downsides and the benefits of it. Now, what I'd like to do is have a conversation with you today so that we can get a better understanding about the way that you feel. Is one of those things that by your comments, if we have a good idea of perhaps you can help people with making the decision, a decision to either get the operation, to get the GLP-1. Sometimes people do want to have certain operations. I'm going to go over a few types of the operations that are very important for you to know about too, because it can really make the difference in life and sickness. So that we really want to get you to get into it more, understand what is it, why are people really going to kind of nuts about this, because there are some good sides to it. I think we need to talk about that too. But let's see if we can understand it more. And by understanding it more, it makes more sense to us, and we'll go ahead and make better decisions because we are now informed. Okay. All right, everybody. Now keep in mind there might be a few words here and there that are pretty big words according to certain, should I say, vocabulary. If your vocabulary, and especially the medical terms, that's when you hear things like receptor, for instance. I know that's a simple word, but what is it? So we're going to talk about those things so you will understand that better today. Cool? All right. I also want to, before we get into this, I want to say congratulations to everybody today. There's over 100. We have more people today than ever that are living longer. And I want to say congratulations to them. And yes, it's very, very beautiful. I know we take it for granted, but as you get older, it's like, goodness, 100 years, that's a long time. There's another conversation about whether or not you can live longer than that. Uh, I can't imagine. Well, I guess I can imagine. Some people, they associate death with something bad. You know, when you die, we leave this state that we're into another. It's over. Some people just think about, it's over. There's no that's just the end of it. But I don't think so. I don't think anything is really just over. I think there's a lot that we don't understand and is meant to be just as it is. And we find out more about things, but I'm certainly glad that most of us don't, none of us know exactly the answers to what happens after we die, because I think that some kind of way, looking at especially how humans treat humans, there'll be some kind of way that these humans that can stoop that low, the humans that are insensitive and desensitized to health, that they would do something to hurt other people. So I'm glad that that we don't know, because I think it would be disadvantageous if we knew, and especially in the hands of people that have no consideration for life and hurting other people, and you can fill in the blank for the rest of that. I'm going to take a little time to see if we can actually get it going over here on the Instagram.
Graham. Okay. And
Yeah.
while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and shout some folks out.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Hello and Grand Rising. Good morning. Happy Saturday to you all. Hey, Denise Kane, welcome in. Happy Saturday to you. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Shirley Gentle Smart. Good morning. Good morning.
Woo-hoo.
Good to see you here. Let's see here. Who's sister? Hey, good morning. Good morning. Says, good morning, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. That is correct. Happy and blessed sunny Saturday to you as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see. Diva D. Hey, how are you? Good morning and happy Saturday. And what up, doe, to you? Whenever I say that, I always feel like I need to put some more, I don't know, some more Detroit in it or something. I don't know, but let me know if I'm doing it okay. Pooh sister, you're looking beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, and thank you all so much for joining us. Again, we are streaming live on Facebook and we are on YouTube, and we're working on Instagram. So, and that's why I always have everyone come over, have everyone come over to YouTube, because YouTube seems to be the more steady and stable one for us, especially when we have any kind of issues as far as technical. But I think we're doing good for right now. Even if Instagram is not up, they should know to come over here either on Facebook and YouTube and find us. So, Dr. Zarif, what do you think? You want to?
I think we'll get right into it, and thank you very much for that. I want to, just introduce you to the GLP-1 receptor agonist, and I'm going to tell you the difference between an agonist and an antagonist, so that you'll be very clear about this. But the GLP-1 receptor agonists are among the most important advantages or advances in the obesity medicine in recent decades. I mean, it's super, super hot now. Everybody seems to want one, especially people that have been overweight. I say this really with a lot of care, because many sisters, and those are the women in our black community, there's a large amount of the most, about 50% of black women are overweight, and then about 50% of that, these are the sisters that are obese. And you can say a lot of reasons. Sometimes, it is actually, people are excited about it. They rather have a certain look, and that they also feel that they're more appealing to others. Let's just say others. Okay, they work by the agonists work by addressing the biological drivers of hunger and metabolism rather than relying solely on willpower. So in both men and women, they can produce substantial weight loss, improve metabolic health, and reduce obesity related complications. And that's, of course, all the things that come with obesity, which is quite a bit. So they help to reduce some of those obesity related complications when combined with healthy nutrition, regular exercises, physicality, because you can do other things other than just exercise. But all things, when you're moving, you're getting the benefit of using the calories as converted energy. However, obesity is a chronic disease, and many individuals regain weight after stopping treatment because they feel that they've already made it. A lot of times, people will comply up to the point of them getting the kind of reaction that they want, or the response, or the result. And that result, it is something that needs to be managed. That means that you just don't up and stop doing what keeps you healthy. For instance, there are many people that have gotten results from the different types of GLP ones, and they continue to eat in a way that made them obese in the first place. And I know it's not just the food, but the whole attitude of eating a certain way that will give you a lot of pleasure, and but it also will increase your risk of disease and infection. Okay, so keep that in mind. If once you get the results of sticking to it. So now let's go on to the GLP-1 agonist versus the antagonist. Now, the terms agonist and antagonist describe how a substance interacts with a receptor in the body. So we have receptors all through our body, and we'll go into it more. But I would just want to go a little slow so you can really absorb this, because it really does make a difference between an agonist and an antagonist. So again, the agonist and the antagonist describe how a substance interacts with the receptor in the body. Okay, now what is an agonist? An agonist activates a receptor and reduces the biological effect. Now think of this as a key that fits into a lock and then it turns it on. A GLP-1 antagonist, the GLP-1 receptor agonists mimic the natural GLP-1 hormone and activate the GLP-1 receptors. Again, the agonist mimics, or the GLP receptor agonists actually mimic the natural GLP-1 hormone. That's the one that we produce ourselves, and activate the GLP-1 receptors throughout the body. Some of the examples are the semaglutide, the liraglutide, and the dulaglutide. These are some of the examples of the GLP-1 hormones that activate the GLP receptors. Also, the effects of GLP-1 agonists, they reduce the appetites. We're still talking about the agonists. They reduce the appetites. It increases the feelings of fullness. That you might hear satiety. Satiety is how we talk about and how we express the feelings of fullness and satisfaction. Slow stomach emptying. Sometimes you will hear this said in another word, like motility, for instance. Slow stomach emptying, and to improve the insulin secretion. Now, to improve the insulin secretion is very important, especially when we start talking about type 2 diabetes and the pancreas, the beta cells, so on. We'll talk about that at another time. But again, some of the effects of the GLP-1 agonist, it lowers the blood sugar and it promotes a weight loss. And these are the medications commonly prescribed today for the obesity and the type 2 diabetes. And so I know some of you have probably already read up on how the initial intention of the GLP-1s were to rectify and to eliminate, or in some kind of way curve the effect of a lot of the GLP-1s, you know, as related to type 2 diabetes. That was the main reason. And you have a lot of different types of operations that are done today that discover another way to, like in the past, and these the sleeve, and you have the duodenal switch, the Foley pouch. All of those were and are the different styles or different ways to help to get the kind of result that we want when it comes to losing weight. And the fight goes on. We just finished talking about the GLP agonists, and we know now that it's, one of the effects is to reduce the appetite, to increase feelings of fullness, slow the stomach emptying, improve insulin secretion, lower blood sugar, and promote weight loss. Now, when we get over here to the antagonist actually binds to a receptor, but it blocks it from being activated. Think of this as putting the key into a lock without turning it. And that's preventing the correct key from working. The effects of the GLP-1 antagonist is the true GLP-1 antagonist would actually block the GLP-1 activity, potentially increase the appetite, reduce the satiety. We talked about that. Decrease the insulin stimulating effects, and potentially worsen the blood glucose control. And because of these effects are generally undesirable for obesity and diabetes treatment, GLP-1 antagonists are not commonly used as weight loss medications. So right away you know that agonist is correct. Here, this is the GLP agonists as we understand it. These are again, what they do is they help to reduce that appetite and to increase feelings of fullness, slow the stomach emptying, so therefore you're fuller longer and you're satisfied for a longer time. And this is how a lot of people are losing weight, by taking the GLP-1 agonist. So you get it now, because you know these are effects that are greatly undesirable for obesity and diabetes treatment. So you already heard antagonists used, and remember again, it's not, well, you don't want to use antagonist, is agonist. Now, why the distinction matters is because many people mistakenly refer to medications such as the semaglutide as the GLP-1 antagonist. Many people mistakenly refer to medications such as the semaglutide the semaglutide as the GLP-1 antagonist. From a medical standpoint, this is incorrect. So let's start off by understanding that medications used for weight loss and diabetes treatment are the GLP-1 receptor agonists because they activate, they don't block, they activate the receptor. And so keep that in mind. If you are talking about the antagonist, they're going to block, that binds to the receptor, but it blocks it from being activated. On the other side of that understanding of the agonist, which is the correct way to express your interest in the hormone that we're speaking of, the GLP receptor agonists that actually mimic the natural GLP-1 hormone. So keep that in mind, everybody, because those things will come back up. Now we want to go and we want to talk a little bit about what is GLP-1 and how does it work besides what we just went over. First of all, the GLP-1, GLP stands for the glucagon-like peptide 1. And it's naturally occurring hormone, as we discussed earlier, and it produces it's actually produced in the intestines after eating. So this goes back, it ties down. I know you're probably thinking about gut health about right here, right? Because we're talking about a hormone that's produced in the intestines after eating. See how that connects? The GLP-1 receptor agonists are medications that mimic this hormone. And the hormone we're talking about, again, we want to keep it in mind, the GLP-1, the glucagon-like peptide 1. Now, the second thing we should discuss here is the primary medical uses. And these medications are initially developed to treat type 2 diabetes and are now widely used for obesity management and chronic weight reductions. If you haven't seen some of the results of some people that use Roe and Wegovy and Ozempic and on, these are the different types of medications that many people are using now to get the dream that they've been chasing for their entire lives. The mechanism of action, the GLP-1 medications activate the receptors in the brain, the pancreas, and digestive system. You see, so it's working all around, all throughout the body. And it looks something like this: the liver health, heart health, addictive behavior, dementia risk, joint pain, and sleep apnea. Did you know that the GLP-1 medications have health benefits that extend beyond health loss and blood sugar control? So we're going to go over that to see if we have enough time to go over all of these things so that you'll be enlightened. Okay? Another subject or another point that we should discuss is the appetite suppression. Now, they reduce the hunger signals and it helps the patients feel satisfied by eating smaller meals. So that in itself can make a huge difference, right? Because they reduce the hunger signals. Now, when the hunger signal is increased, there, of course, that's when you hear, I'm starving, I'm hungry, I need some food. Why, I'm hungry already. Those are some of the things that you can pretty much expect. Now, let's talk a little bit about the delayed gastric emptying that we talked about earlier when we were explaining the difference between an agonist and an antagonist. Which one are we talking about now? We're talking about if you said agonist, you are absolutely correct. Okay? Delayed gastric emptying, that's where the food remains in the stomach longer and it increases feelings of fullness. And that's what this particular drug does very well, is it blocks, or it actually interferes with the signaling of of hunger, so that way you can manage the portion control better. Blood sugar regulation. When it comes to blood sugar regulation, the GLP-1 enhances the insulin secretion when blood glucose levels rise. Okay, and we can also, blood glucose level rises, they're also called spikes. So you have a sugar spike. Okay, and this is where we eat too much sugar, and it causes those levels to rise. Now, the sugar or blood sugar regulation, the GLP-1 enhances the insulin secretion when the blood glucose levels rise. Also, reducing the glucagon production. The medication suppresses glucagon, a hormone that raises the blood sugar. So we talked about glucagon before, and I think we were discussing the hitting the wall and the part that glucagon plays when we run out of sugar and have low sugar levels. But again, something to be discussed later. Let's talk about the weight loss benefits. Weight loss benefits. The patients frequently experience significant reductions in body weight and body fat. And that's what people are also looking for. The GLP-1 hormone helps to lower the blood sugar. We have different levels, and that's why it's good to take your check out yourself on a every other day basis until you get it under control, where you don't have to watch it that close. But the GLP-1 hormones actually helps to lower the blood sugar levels by stimulating the pancreas and to release more insulin. And that's a big problem with some people with insulin resistance, is that one of them is that there isn't enough insulin to deal with all of the sugar that is one of the challenges of having hyperglycemia. Now, another thing, it reduces the appetite of signaling to the brain. It reduces the appetite by signaling to the brain that the body is full. Your stomach is full. The appetite is gone. It also increases the excretion of sodium and water in the urine, which helps to lower the blood pressure. And many people have even, people that are considered very healthy. These are things that you should know so that you can do something about it, so that you can manage some of the examples that I just gave you to reduce the some of the effects and to reduce some of the things that or the risk that you may be facing by taking the drug. Now, the cardiovascular benefits are reduced. Research has demonstrated the reductions in cardiovascular risk among many patients. I'll say that again, research, which is super important. And that's the thing that a lot of drugs before now didn't get, is the research. Research has demonstrated reductions in cardiovascular risk among many patients, and that's what we want. We want to reduce the chances of cardiovascular problems. Heck yeah. You want to make sure that this is something that you understand well, because you do well when you know that you're complying and you're feeling better, performing better, looking better. And then let's talk about one more: obesity. When we talk about obesity as a disease, GLP-1 therapy recognizes obesity as a chronic metabolic disease rather than simply a lifestyle issue. Okay, so this is more. It's super important, the GLP therapy. So there's a system in how you're using the GLP-1 in order to get the kind of results that you're looking for. So the GLP-1 therapy actually recognizes your obesity as a chronic metabolic disease. So it's even more serious than the people that say, oh, I'm just a little bit over, my body mass index is this, my numbers are all good. The doctor said I need to do, finding out for yourself is a big part of you managing your health. So keep that in mind. Now you'll see the stars, people like this, as you see right here. This is Serena, and she's endorsing. She's endorsing the medication there, and she's actually pushing Roe. And then you have another GLP weight loss for women. This is powerful support for transforming your health. So it's a lot of good things about it, but there's as time goes on. But I want you to look at this. This is so well done, this poster. In the background, you have a woman that is overweight. You see that? The shadow, so to speak, and then that's like before, and this is after in the front. And these are just some of the things that you can look for. Okay, I'm going to take a break right now. We're going to go to Carolyn, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about some of the effects of women's health and reproductive system. Okay, all right, Care.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. That's great information. The antagonist and agonist. Okay, I have them written down. I still have to go over them, but so much information about this, the GLP-1, and of course, like you say, it's getting even, it's more popular because you have where it used to be for what type 2 diabetes, and now people are finding that it does something else. As far as weight loss. So, I know that it's one of those things where people want to jump on it. It may be something that's good for it may be good for some people, but I know you've talked about having a start date and an end date to these drugs. So I'm just you know keeping aware, or want to see how things are going to go uh, as this drug becomes even more popular and people start to use it even more.
Yeah, I think that I this is the first time that I feel I feel positive as far as that is concerned. Positive mentality, that is. When you're using medical terms, positive sometimes isn't the one you want to grab. But
Right, right,
the thing that is important is that we have the responsibility of, when you exercise the responsibility to be healthy. And when I say that about just being healthy, it means that whether or not you have that agonist there, the agonist is a tool. What happens is people start to they overwork this this tool,
hmm
and then it becomes a weapon. You see, and this really important that we understand food better, how it works, what is it helping, what can hurt us about the food. We talked about when a food becomes poison, and this was probably last year sometimes. But when the food becomes poisonous, when you overeat it, especially things like we start talking about
right.
seeds that have some of the toxins in the seed, but it's a part of the structure and the creation of that fruit or that vegetable, so that it can that particular fruit and vegetable can remain here, and we can multiply it, for the health of people, of the citizens of the world. So that does have, but if you say, all right, I'm going to take these bad boys and I'm going to roast them and put some salt on them, yummy. It's just not the move. So it's
Right.
good. It's really good to know these things. I want to get some results here. Let's get some comments here.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell us, what do you feel about that? I see we have a few comments up here. Let's see if we have. Are they saying? What
Uh,
are the comments saying?
I have DVD that was had a comment said I did the work to decrease weight, but now I have hanging fupa and a bat wing and bat wings. Jesus.
Yeah, that's all of that. You're a beautiful woman, and all of that is just excess. There's operations to remove that. Sometimes, yeah, it is hard because you have, at one point, you were a certain size, and then you did the work, and now you're lighter, but the skin is heavy and is drooping. A combination of exercises. Again, I don't, sometimes I don't want to say exercise, because as soon as I say that, somebody sees in their mind this expert that's doing something with all the cuts and stuff. Fitness means are performing you are performing at a higher level. You are feeling better at a higher level. You look better at a higher level. And you start to firm your skin. You start to lose all the edema, the excess weight from the water or water retention or fluid retention. All of these are things that take time. But keep loving yourself and keep doing what you can do. If you're not going to get surgery to remove the extra skin, then take time to thoroughly look at the different procedures that people go through. And what you're talking about is something that doctors go through like practically every day, because people are getting that. And good for you, Dr. D, is that you are about doing it, and that makes a real good difference. So everybody, that if you have a little extra, if you got like, oh, my butt too big, my arms too, all of those kinds of things, they are changeable. You can change those things. You
Yes.
see.
And then also, if you mentioned, surgery, and there may be people who are not interested in surgery, but you may also want to look into dressing a different way now, that helps to, um, be more flattering for like the fupa area, and then even your arms and things like that. Maybe kind of shirts or blouse that you wear that helps to more conceal that area. So that can be something else that you would have to look into and research how to dress to hide this area and it be more flattering. That could be something as well.
That's a good idea. Some of the things, even underwear, you have the underwear that is a little tighter, and when you pull it up over the stomach to give
Mhm.
you more of a firmer look.
Yes.
You have compression socks that you can put on to give, or stockings that'll give you a better look. Even if you use the pantyhose, they have pantyhose that are more for a firmer fit, and that will definitely, those are some of the things that you can do. But on top of that, if we take away all of those things, what else could you do? You could definitely change what you're eating. Eating, again, the nutrition, not to say that you haven't been doing that, and I'm speaking in general now, speaking in general, that if you are eating foods that are going against your goal, this is what you need to do. You need to step back from that and regroup and start your plans from the beginning, and get in touch with what made you want to do better, what made you do better in the end. Like, were you like people that look real good and then they like, I look good, and they sit on their hands and they don't do anything? Well, everybody's been there. For number one, everybody's been there. So you have people, beautiful, beautiful people. I'm talking about in physically attractive, and they just so gorgeous, but they can't hang on to the idea of the importance or the priority of taking care of themselves first. It's usually money that keeps a person pretty much connected with or tied up with the whole thought of, I'm going to be okay. I'll get to it later. Oh, I got rid of that before. And it only took me 2 days, and I'm back. I came right back. Or man, I ain't worried about that. I go up to the park and I'll run around a couple of times, and I'm back in the game. But they go back to what? Back to eating the same thing, back to drinking the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with eating stuff that rewards you, like, yummy. But to eat the whole pie, the whole cake, to eat the whole bag, those are the things that gets us in trouble. I think we got another message there.
Yes. Yes. Hi, my. Why am I messing up your name?
Aaliyah.
Sorry, Malia. Royal Rising. Tuning in from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for tuning in from Vegas. We appreciate you, my
Yeah.
Leah.
My Leah is is actually I was bouncing off of your ma, and I got it to the ma Leah, but it's actually my Leah.
My Leah. Yes.
Uh-huh. And it's good. My Leah is also eating good. I was talking to my Leah not too long ago, and we were talking about food and all that. And one of the things that I noticed that practically everything I suggested to her, she said, "Yeah, I got that. Uh huh. Yeah, I just bought that. Yeah, and oh yeah, I got to pick that up. But she was on the case.
Mhm.
You know, and that's good because she's definitely been through a lot of challenges, but she is doing it by facing her challenges by sticking with it. Mylea has had a series of challenges, but she's met all of these challenges with a winning attitude. Love it, love it. And her mother, if I may, Mylea, is the same. They're winners. That whole family, just super winners. I just love, 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 love them. And Mylea is definitely a wonderful. She loves animals. I know that, especially her dog. She got to check her out, follow her, and she's also parts with wonderful affirmations to keep you on the right, in the right direction, and being a very constructive in your thinking. This is beautiful. What else we have? It looked like we had another comment coming in. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. Come on with it.
Now she says, my Leah, thank you for the shout out. I'm staying consistent.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
And let me see here. There is another one from Ruth Taylor says, can you do a resistance training uh, to help with the sagging skin?
Hi Ruth. Hi Ruth. Got yeah. Well, yeah. You can do. It depends on if it's severe. If it's severe and hanging, you it's very difficult to get that skin to pop back. Now there is different that people have different types of skin. You have some women that have a child, and then you have stretch marks, and there's a lot of extra skin. And then you have the other women that they have a child, and their stomach will go right back in place. The hips right back in place. I can't, I can't explain it, but I do know that exercise can help other things too. But yeah, there are things that, as far as resistive exercises, it can definitely get you firm. But sometimes because a person had carried so much weight before they started to lose weight, that it can be one of those things that you have to choose some other alternatives.
Yes. Thank you so much for that question, Ruth. I appreciate it. And that's it as far as the questions on this side.
All right, great. We got into the double digits on this, so I'm really happy about that. Welcome if you're just joining us. We're talking about the GLP-1 agonist today. We're understanding it better. And by us understanding it better, maybe that'll take the rush off of some of you that was just going to go in and take, get the shots, or now you can also, there are pills, and people are losing weight. But there are some of the things on the other side of it. Again, for everything that works, there's something that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I don't know if you're that person, but if you are that person, you need to have variety. What else can you do? How else can you help yourself? And this is by one. What is the biggest thing? I'm going to ask you all a question and write it down and see what you come up with, and we're going to read it. We need your participation on this one. What is the main reason that people repeat gain weight? What is the main reason that people repeat gaining weight? So while you're thinking about that, some people actually are a little large, hips out there, things that they do like. Some women like it, oh, when I'm bigger, my breasts are bigger and more firm. Or they might say, oh, I like it when I'm bigger because my behind is nicer, is rounder. Or you might like a little larger. Some people say, I love being larger because I remember Aretha Franklin saying this. She liked to be a little overweight because she sings better. Everybody got their reasons. Everybody got a little bit of the reason. So let's see. Did we get anybody? I still see that 11 up there. Let's see. Did we get any?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Good. Maybe this will help a little. All right.
That's a, is that supposed to wake people up?
Hey, wake up, open the door, and come on now. You it's things. I do want to take time from myself and from Carolyn. We appreciate. We've been running this wonderful Mind of Nature show for a while, and it just keeps getting better. We know that at the beginning, that at 8 a.m., although we're talking about the West Coast at 8 a.m., that is a little early for some people. But we continue going because we're not really concerned with that. We're concerned with more that we can record this information that is there for you when you need it, and being consistent. That's one of the hardest things to get people to do, is to be consistent. And you can spend hours talking to them, hours on top of hours. Here, this is what you can do. They can start off and they can, oh man, do really good, sweat it out, work it out, body start looking better, but dun dun, 24 hours isn't enough time to even survey anybody. You can't, we don't have time to be doing that. So people end up repeating
Yeah.
what put them over the line, over the level for, weight management. There you have it.
And then we have Dr. Cher Stevens says returning to poor eating habits. For example, I love fried chicken. Trims eating it less, understanding that it'll always be a part of my meal plan. So pretty much returning to poor eating habits.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like when you can't get above that, like people that Like ribs just make them think about not just ribs, but thinks about their uncles and cousins and friends and music and smoking and drinking and getting high and all of those things. So this is why we need what is called personal acuity. When you sit alone, sit by yourself and think about what are some of the changes I can make and that I'll commit to. And sometimes you can't just do that one time. You got to do it over and over and over just to make the decision that I'm going to do it. Because when you lie to yourself, the moment you say it, you're not going to do it. And if you get that relationship with yourself that you're saying something, you're going to do something and you don't do it, that in itself is a habit that you want to get rid of because you won't be believing yourself to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had, I saw some more things pop up. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Well, there were just some comments from Ruth. Your body will protect itself, is what she was saying. And then you also saw Michelle Franklin say, "Hey" from Pittsburgh. Those are
Hey, sis from Pittsburgh. Beautiful.
that popped up.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, it's great to hear from you all the time. Michelle Franklin is, man, for those of you that know how beautiful she is, I'm sure you agree with me. Is glad. Thank you very much for being here. Love it. Michelle is one of those people that when she comes to see you play ball or she comes to support you on stage or anything, she always makes a difference. So thank you, thank you. The last time I saw her, I saw you at the Lamert Park event, the health festival.
Mhm.
And even then, that energy was incredible. So
Yeah.
love you, love you, love you, and enjoyed life because you definitely, keep people inspired to live a greater life. Now, I wanted to go back to Ruth Taylor. She was saying that the body protects itself, right? Was that the message?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is the body protects itself with the help of us. There are some things that the body can do well, of course, you don't have to do anything. For instance, the voluntary function of a body, like the heart. We don't have to think, beat heart, beat heart, beat heart. Come on, keep beating. Is something that goes on naturally. But in order to keep that going on in the most healthy way, we have walking, we have exercise, we have the way that we eat, getting enough rest, having a beautiful environmental exchange with our friends and families. So the body can do only so much, but the other extras, when you get your body um, on the move with the things that you have, for instance, written down your objectives, that's when you making progress because you start checking it off. Good. I had my water for today. I'm hydrated. I had my bowel movement. Good. And I had my vegetables, all the green stuff. This morning I had all my fruit. Oh man, I'm doing great. And I got my um, your different tools that you use in the kitchen, and you start making different things, being creative. It's just really wonderful. So yeah, the body does so much, but the body needs your help and it needs your permission to continue being healthy. Other than that, it's just a nice conversation.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Zarif. Michelle made a comment saying, "I made up my mind that I'm never going back." And then also, bad eating habits cost my best friend her life.
Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, and it's true. It's true. Like when with people, some folks just don't. They don't. They love food. I understand that, but food alone isn't the answer. even if you're eating healthy stuff. And even when Michelle says, I'm not going back, she has a great point. That is the attitude to have. I am going to, we can reframe it in psychology, but it means that I am going to continue forward and do the healthiest things for my body.
Hmm.
That's Michelle was like kicking butt out at the when we were working out at the park. She was out front. It was so beautiful because Babette came up there and she was
Oh
playing with her, and but she was but Babette was demonstrating is that this sister was throwing down,
yeah.
and everybody else was like, whoa, she made it look easy. I was huffing and puffing, but I always do on purpose because I want to get all that I can get. Uh, yeah, so it's just beautiful. I wish we were more physically, um, I think, we were more physically aware or physically what's another word for it? Interested in our the priority of our working out. I love to work out. I mean, I love to work, and then I sit back now and I'm looking at all these people that those the people that copied us. I mean, we did all of that stuff, and it was incredible. And it's cool. I love it because I know we were out there doing our thing. And I'm glad we did it at a time that, a lot of us were in our 20s and our 30s and some in our 40s, and now time has passed on. And if you haven't taken care of your body, of course, that it makes it more difficult. But we just, thank you for those of you that have been supportive and you continue to work out because that's the main thing. When, you, when you're working out, you make things better. And I'm really, really happy to see that a lot of people continue to work out. I got a good feeling, some blessing somewhere, some way we're gonna make it happen. It's the last two times we were in the church, and the church is beautiful, and especially I'm really glad when we have people that wear like that. But I think that if we get a place that of our own and you can play the music you want to play and all of that, because you feel like if a song has the wrong lyrics in it, you're like, oh, we're in the wrong place for that, and of course, we want to respect it. But okay, so all is well, and thank you very much for being here. This is the Mind of Nature. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist, and you're also listening to the one called Carolyn Zarif in the house, and all of you wonderful Zarifians. Let's continue, and then we're going to let you get out into the sunshine. Some of the things that I wanted you to see. These are, I said earlier about the capsules, pills, and all that. Here is an example. I'm going to make sure that it's showing on your screen. Kara, do you see that? Okay. So when we talk about the other let's say, varieties. Here's one from the FinPro X labs, and this is going to become more and more available. As you see here in month number 2, you reduce the hunger, and the study shows that 69% less hunger, 55% fewer snacks in 8 weeks. So this is when we're talking about, remember we're talking about the ghrelin, we're talking about the nervous system, we're talking about the different types of ways that we are hungry and we express our hunger. But now with this GLP-1, it may be some promise in it, but it's something that you have to do your due diligence so that you're getting exactly what you want, not what somebody else wants. Also increase GLP-1 levels and boost the GLP, that's the hormone, to support healthy blood sugar and a healthy body, mass control, and good looking physique. That's really good. Now, there's a lot of people that work out and work out very well, and I've had the opportunity to work out with you, and I still do. But it is up to you to make up your mind to get the kind of results that you're looking for. Now, here, this is a pen, so a syringe, along with eating healthy. So it's not just eating healthy, and that's what we made the mistake before, that some people were saying, or if it's just the pen by itself, or if you're taking the syringe and you're giving yourself shots. So there's some downsides to that too, but I'm saying this to say that you need more than just one thing. It's a combination. And most good ideas and most things that are very successful, they come in the form of combination or collaboration. And that's what works. So we're going to do this right fast so you can get out of here. Let's talk about some of the other things that are important, the effects of women's health and the reproductive system. Obesity and female hormones. The excess body fat can disrupt the estrogen, the insulin, and reproductive hormones. Improve the insulin sensitivity. The GLP-1 therapy often improves insulin resistance and common problem in women with obesity. Then you have let me if I can get the polycystic ovary syndrome, the PCOS. Polycystic ovary syndrome patients often experience improvements in metabolic health and weight reduction. And then there's the menstrual regularity, which some people, it depends on where you are in life. You might be flowing heavy, you might be spotting, but some women report more regular menstrual cycles after substantial weight loss. So if you're overweight, I won't say it's easy, but it is fundamentally, it's one of those things that if you are out of balance in one area, like your weight, for instance, that can lead to other difficulties in other areas. Now, weight reduction may improve when we're talking about the ovaries. So you got the ovulatory, goodness, my tongue. The ovulatory function in women with obesity. So let's look at that again. The weight reduction, we're talking about ovulation now. The weight reduction may improve the ovulatory function in women with the obesity-related infertility. So you may have a chance. The fertility, this is saying, if you actually, if you read more about the GLP-1 medications, that they enhance fertility. I'm sure you've heard that before, Carolyn. We talked about that briefly yesterday. And the fertility enhancement improves the metabolic health and increases the likelihood of conception. And that's different because some people do have a hard time having children, and GLP-1 medications have proven that they increase the fertility or fertility enhancement. Now, breastfeeding considerations like the safety data remain limited, requiring individualized medical evaluation. Okay, so we still want you to be in touch with your OBGYN to make sure that other things are in place and that are in balance. And again, just don't depend on this one thing by itself. Estrogen balance and menopause, all of these are important. I think I better say a little bit about menopause. Postmenopausal women may benefit from improvements in cardiovascular and metabolic health associated with weight loss. So the after menopause and menopause, of course, this is when a woman her cycle stops, or the periods stop for a year or more, and the body changes because we're past having the we've already put in place the family and other things that result from being younger. As we get older, we get better, but we get better in other ways. The GLP-1 receptor agonists, remember agonists, for type 2 diabetes, and it shows to work well with that. Obesity and testosterone recovery, visceral fat reduction, metabolic syndrome. All of these are some of the things that we can look forward to when we are taking care of ourselves in a balanced way. Okay, when it comes down to most like the surgeries, I'm just going to say this: the surgeries. Now, I did a little bit on how this GLP-1 affects men too, but I want to just jump into this because this is important. There's still some of the weight loss surgeries that are still very popular, and these are the bariatric surgeries. Bariatric surgeries refers to the surgical procedures designed to help individuals with severe obesity lose weight by reducing the food intake, altering the digestion or digestive processes, or both. Now, one of the things, the gastric sleeve, you probably heard this before, and the gastric sleeve is the surgeon removes approximately 75 to 80% of your stomach, leaving narrow banana-shaped sleeve. And how does it work? It restricts the amount of food, the stomach can hold, and it reduces production of the hunger hormone ghrelin. And we talked about the ghrelin hormone earlier. This to tell you if you're full or not. It also promotes earlier satiety. But this is really important right here, that 75 to 80% of your stomach is removed. Now, some people just know you got to be able to lose weight there. But guess what? People get this, and there's a possibility that they can regain their weight through a partial stomach. The human body is definitely worth learning more about. Some of the benefits is significant weight loss you get from the sleeve, no intestinal rerouting, shorter surgical time than gastric bypass. The potential risk would be acid reflux, nutritional deficiencies, and surgical complications such as leaks. And no one wants to leak, but a lot of people do when they are desperate to lose weight. Don't be desperate. Be wise. Be smart about it. Get information and take the right steps. There's another procedure that is very well known. It's the gastric bypass. And the gastric bypass is a small stomach pouch, sort of like the Kobe pouch, that is created and is connected directly to the small intestine, duodenum, by bypassing part of the stomach and upper intestine. How it works, it restricts food intake, it reduces calorie and nutrient absorption, it produces hormonal changes that improve metabolism. The benefits: excellent long-term weight loss, often improves or resolves type 2 diabetes, is strong evidence it is supporting long-term effectiveness, And the potential risk are vitamin and mineral deficiency because of the low absorbency rate, and the dumping syndrome, which is what a lot of people have, the rapid gastric emptying, or reverse peristalsis, or reflux, the gastro refluxes. All of this is a part of the potential risk, and along with higher surgical complexity. Okay, there's other things with the adjustable gastric band, which is the lap band, and this is the way it works is it limits the food intake, and it also slows the stomach emptying. Now, I've met patients that have two. They might have a sleeve, but they might have a gastro or the band, lap band, along with that, and it's very common for some people to have two because they feel that one isn't working. All right, everybody, we've gone over time, but I do want to thank you for all of your help. I need to say this just for the medical conclusion, because I did talk about the sleeve, and we did talk about the gastric bypass. They're two of the most commonly performed bariatric procedures, and they have extensive research demonstrating the significant weight loss. Now, there's also another, it's called a CDS, and CDS is also the average excess weight is 70 to 80% of the weight is lost because of these new. That's a very new procedure. But moving ahead, surgical intervention is generally considered when the lifestyle modifications and the medical therapies, including GLP-1 medications, have not produced sufficient results, or when the obesity poses serious health risk. So just because they're out there, and just because people have them, and they're going to Mexico, or they're going to Thailand, or they're going to all these different places to get this, remember, this is your body. And when you get some things done, they are irreversible. And these are all parts of the decision that you're making when you're thinking about losing weight and using the right medication, the right tools to lose weight. So thank you very much. We're going to go back up here on the stage with Carolyn. Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zari. So you have the GLP-1s being still used for diabetes, right? Two,
Yes.
type 2 diabetes. And then you also have it to where it's being used for weight loss. And then that's one of the side effects that they found, or other effects that it causes. And now we're finding out that it can make you women more fertile and have what's called, I've seen it be called GLP-1 babies. So that again is something, another effect that the GLP-1s can have. So yes, great information. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know some people, their eyes may get big and be like, "Whoa, what?" Maybe
Yeah.
I may just go ahead and decide to start working out, or doing it a different way, I should say, instead of taking the GLP-1s.
Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have. That's one of the things that education affords you, and that is variety. You have choices, and that's one of the things that, again, understanding and listening and taking your notes, and then taking little baby steps, little by little, can make a difference. But you can't BS yourself. Grown people shouldn't BS themselves. If you say that you're going to do it, do it. If you're not, don't waste anybody's time. Nobody wants to hear your lies. Nobody wants to see you say you're going to do it and you're not going to do it. So I'm talking to all those people, including myself. If you're saying something, be able to trust yourself. If you know that you're going to say something and you're going to take care of it, you one of those kind of people where I said I was going to do it, I'm going to get it done. I said I was going to do it by the 3rd, I'm going to take care of it. And they get it done because it's a mindset. But if you're lying to people and you're lying to yourself about losing that extra weight, if you're lying about taking your kitchen still looks the same and you talking about you gonna do better, it can't work like that. If you have children, if you're married, if you have people living with you, that might change it a little bit. So you want to make sure that if you can have a part of the pantry that is solely yours. In the refrigerator, there might be things that you drink and see if everybody else can drink them too. But until you're serious and you take your grocery shopping, you go out here and support these wonderful farmers that are having the wonderful fruits and vegetables available for us, and probably every week somewhere. Learn about the other food banks that are all throughout this city and this state, and start eating the foods that are wonderfully healthy for you. Take yourself serious. Take yourself serious. You know what I do when I know that people tell me they're going to do something and they don't do it? Then it becomes just just like Charlie Brown, I just don't hear it. So that's the way that you hear yourself when you don't do what you're telling yourself to do. And that is, my friends, not the way to go, because when you can't believe you, what are we talking about? We're talking about just a person that cannot depend on themselves for the better change in themselves. We had another comment I saw. A couple. Take yourself serious. That's right, Malia. Yeah, that's right. Take yourself serious. If you don't, you're not gonna do that stuff. You don't care nothing about like Dr. Zarif said. Well, tell Dr. Zarif to eat that in his house. I heard all that stuff. Accountability is the key. It's accountability. I mentioned that because when I had my martial arts students years ago, that I would tell them, to eat a certain way. And this is to the younger children. And they would go home and say, Dr. Zari said we shouldn't eat no pig. Then they'll say, what? Dr. Zari said when you eat a pig, you get sick. And a pig, it eats a whole lot of other stuff that it shouldn't have in it, and it stinks, and they'll remember whatever they can about what I said. And then the child doesn't eat the pork. Then the parents say, well, if you ain't going, if you want to eat some other food, you go over to Dr. Zarif's house. And when I would see the parents, they'll say some stuff like that. Yeah, my son, he ain't eating a pig no more, man. That's all we eat around here. My uncle, he lived to be 86 years old. Ain't nothing. I don't know where y'all get that from. And it's dealing with that. And some people have gotten upset with me, and I'm like, take it easy. It's your choice. You can eat as much as you want to, whenever you want to. I'm about health, and that's what I can help with, and that's what I do.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. I see the comments are coming in. Did we miss one? I saw Shirley had. Would you
Oh,
check
yes.
that?
When you asked the question earlier about, I think it was repeating what you do. I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact question, but that's what she was asking.
There it is under there. Read that.
Excuses of having a busy life and being inconsistent.
That's you right on the nose. That is so true
Yeah,
because you have people.
for herself.
Yeah, and speaking of me too, and we're speaking of millions of people that go by that excuse.
Yeah.
That's why I stick to my word. And then there's times that I have different projects going on that I have to manage. I got things I need to do over here, things I need to do over here. I got to keep my studies up, all of that stuff. I got you. Everybody can find a reason why they didn't do something.
Yeah.
Like that saying, I would have been on time to the meeting, but I saw a dog. It's like what?
Right, right.
You know, like Ben says, what are we talking about? uh, is very important. So anyway, everybody, any more questions before I go?
No, I
Because I
don't.
know we went over a whole lot. It's time to get out of here. Okay. Well, really appreciate it, everybody. Really appreciate Carolyn. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's a lifestyle change. All right, Ruth Taylor, that's right. It is a lifestyle change. Let's get it on. All right, Ruth, looking forward to seeing you real soon and give our best to you and your beautiful family. And everybody, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.